Henry, just curious about your overall just kind of thoughts about Sonny Cumby, what he's brought, and kind of what the first few, let's say, week of camp has been like under him.
Yeah, I think Coach Cumby, he's a guy that the whole team really responds to. He brings a lot of energy to the team. He's pretty creative with what he does, and just overall, I think a big thing with him is attention to detail and flying around and effort, and I think that's something that the offense has been bringing to the table so far. So he's really fun to play for.
Go to Ronald.
Henry, you come back as obviously the quarterback who has, the most experience with this team, but obviously a new offense coming into the wrinkle and obviously more quarterbacks in the quarterback room this year. What is it going to take to win that starter job from day one?
I think just we do, like you said, we have a room full of great quarterbacks. I feel like any quarterback in the room can start for this team, can start any team in college football. So I think just the biggest thing, with competition is just pushing each other every day. And I think just the execution, leading, moving the ball, obviously, whoever the team responds to, things like that is what's going to help each quarterback.
Go to Sam.
Henry, from a personality standpoint, what has Coach Cumby been like to just deal with on a daily basis?
Personality standpoint, like I said, I feel like he's really juiced up all the time. He's ready to roll. It's because he has our best intentions. So a big thing with him is always us showing up ready to bring energy to the team, and just things like that. Personality. He's funny. We all like him as a quarterback coach, as a person, and we're excited to play for him.
And how different is what you guys are doing offensively, whether it's in terms of concepts or terminology, that type of stuff? How different is it this spring than what it was last season?
Yeah, this offense, there's definitely more terminology. There's, last year we were a strictly up-tempo team, but this year we'll have the ability to slow it down at times, and we'll still be able to go fast. So just having more balance and being able to mix it up, that's what we'll bring to the table this year.
Go back to Eric.
You talked about, the quarterback room and that these guys could start for any team in America. What are some of your just, takeaways from these guys who are in that room with you? Maybe some of the younger guys who don't have as much experience in gaming.
From the younger guys, the first thing that stood out to me was, arm talent and being able to adapt faster to college level. When I first came into college, I wasn't that efficient with my reads or anything like that. So them bringing that to the table, them just stepping in, being able to lead, not being scared to go first or anything like that. It's impressive, and I respect it, and it shows a good sign of leadership and what they'll bring.
What are your early impressions of Travis, who he is, or Tyler, sorry, who he is as a quarterback and who he just is as a person?
Yeah, Tyler, he brings a lot to the table. He played a bunch of games in the Pac-12 for Oregon, and he reminds me a lot of when I played with Jordan. He's a funny guy. He brings a lot of personality to the room. He's obviously has a great arm talent, a great leader, and I'm excited to be able to work with him and compete with him the whole till week one.
Go back to Ronald.
You guys obviously lost a couple wide receivers from last year. What has this sort of been like, in camp, where you're having to basically reconnect with, a lot of new wide receivers, but also some who played a little bit last year, and just where's that chemistry at right now?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of the younger guys step up. Trey and Loic, they had a good amount of playing time last year. They made plays, and this year they're taking that next step to be the guy. And then you have younger guys like JB who's coming in, and he's taking a role on. He's made some plays for us, so I'm excited to see what they do throughout the spring ball.
Go to Carlos.
Okay, Henry, just kind of wanted to get your perspective. I know last time you had transferred to Texas Tech, you got here a little bit late and kind of had to really figure out the offense and stuff. So I guess how have you kind of seen Tyler be able to do that, especially with how quickly he's going to have to acclimate, especially just barely starting at the beginning of the week so far?
Yeah, I feel like he's picked it up really quickly. It's clear that he's been working off time, learning the offense. he doesn't miss any calls or anything like that. So I feel like we're all on the same page. There's no one that's ahead of each other when it comes to terminology or knowing the offense. We all have the same knowledge about the offense.
Last one for me. I know you said all the quarterbacks are talented. I guess in terms of your perspective, who have you seen kind of stand out, or if anyone has stood out to you just in terms of off-season workouts or anything else like that?
I don't think it's anyone in particular on the field, but one person who is a great leader in the room is definitely Donovan Smith. He's very vocal, and he leads by example, and the team responds to him.
Go to Don.
Henry, when Alan Bowman left, announced that he was transferring, you became the most experienced guy in the room. Did you know that the coaches then were going to try to add another quarterback via the transfer portal? And what was your thought then when they brought in Tyler?
Yes, I mean, I figured that they were going to bring somebody in because considering, like you said, the experience in the room when Alan left, at that point it was only me who had played in a college football game. So I understood that they were going to bring somebody in, and when they brought Tyler in, I was excited. Another chance to compete. At the end of the day, all competition does is get each other better, and whoever the best player is for this team is what I'm looking forward to.
You feel like, does that kind of give you an underdog mentality that you left at Utah State, you were behind Jordan, and you come here behind Allen, finally got a chance to play, got a chance to start some games, and now you have this high-profile transfer in your quarterback room, and you have to kind of prove yourself again, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I enjoy that role. I never, as long as I've been playing ball, it's always been like that for me. So it's really nothing that out of the ordinary. It's just kind of something that I respond well to. So I actually enjoy when high-profile people come in. It just gives me another chance to compete and get better, learn from them and just learn from each other.
Go back to Eric and then Sam after that.
I mean, where do you think we'll see you having taken the biggest step forward between the last time you played in a game last year to either spring or fall camp or the first time you play in season next year?
I think the biggest step, my biggest focus from last year from the end of the season discussions and stuff with the coaches, it was just getting through progressions. And, that comes through experience, especially game experience, because it's a lot different when you compare it to practice. So just having the game experience in the Big 12 and then getting through spring ball, fall camp, it should be able to help me with my progressions and things like that, getting through my reads and stuff.
We'll go back to Sam.
Henry, how much of a feel have you gotten for how much quarterback run game will be an element in this offense with Coach Colombi?
I think that it'll be a big part of it. When we played TCU last year, the quarterback ran the ball a lot on us. And I think that there's always a read option look in most college football teams that run spread and, some design quarterback runs. And I think that'll be a good part of the offense.
Rico, starting with you, just kind of what have you been able to accomplish in this first week of spring ball? Obviously not being able to have pads on or anything, but what have you just been able to work on and get better at?
Just getting a better grasp of the defense, being able to make checks when the offense motions around and stuff like that, and being able to communicate with the players that are on the field at the time, and also just while I'm working on my rehab and stuff like that.
Coach Patterson talked about, the ways that you guys improved as a defense last year statistically. Where's the biggest area that you think you guys will improve from last year to this year, just based on early what you've seen from that unit?
Well, one of the main focuses is getting more turnovers. The more turnovers we get, the more opportunities that we give to the offense to put more points on the board. And, just being physical at the point of attack and just recognizing stuff before understanding how they can attack us and what formations that they come out in.
Go to
Marcus, what are your just early impressions of some of those guys that they brought in the secondary, some of those experienced guys that they brought in at you?
They have a bunch of talent, and they know how to play, and they played at the other universities they was at. And I think most of them are they're just ready to work, and I like that, and just in general. And we can always work with that.
Go to Sam.
And this is for both of you. How much, when you're out in the practice field and you're competing with guys, how much have you seen the depth improve both at your positions and on this defense as a whole since you've been here?
Tremendously. I feel like there's competition now, and you have to earn the spots just to play. So I feel like it's really good for us.
Yeah, same thing as DeMarcus said. There's a lot of competition, so it makes guys who are returning starters have to work harder to make sure they keep that position. So you really don't get to take a day off. You know, we're all making each other better every day, and we're all just competing, basically.
Go to Ronald.
As I've already sort of mentioned, obviously that defense just kept improving throughout last season. But now this year, with a lot of those seniors actually coming back because of the pandemic and things like that, just how much better can this defense even be this year when you guys have the benefit of returning so many players with that experience?
We can be as good as we want to be. We can be as great as we want to be. It really just depends on our work ethic and our just knowledge of the game. I think with everybody coming back, it builds that camaraderie, and then we have those older guys for the young guys to look up to and have a good role model.
Go to Don.
Rico, was the decision to return for another year easy or difficult?
I mean, it was pretty easy because I have a great connection with my coaches. Great relationship with those guys, and then also seeing that a lot of my peers were coming back to do what we felt like we should have done last year. It just made the decision easier for me. I could see all of the potential that we have in this team, and I know that we can accomplish whatever we decide to accomplish, honestly.
And when you were getting feedback, the feedback that you received, maybe for how they viewed you as an NFL prospect, what did that tell you?
Well, honestly, I really wasn't too focused on it. I mean, I had made my decision, so I figured that I could just come back and improve myself on where I figured that I can improve myself and just become even better of a vocal leader and understand the game even better. So when I get to that next level, it just comes firsthand to me.
How would you describe kind of what your typical day is now in spring practice when you come over to the building, but can't participate in the actual workout?
So I usually start off with rehab. So I'll get my rehab done. I'll do my lift. Sometimes I have my internship that I work with the Tech Media, so I help do graphic design stuff with that. And then I come back for practice. I watch practice, and I try to help coach as much as possible. And then from there, I'm basically in the film room. We have about an hour and a half of film and stuff like that, and then that's the day for me.
Go back to Eric.
You talked about your decision a little bit before. How much did some of those guys who had the opportunity to leave, how much did y'all talk to each other and kind of see where y'all were at, or was it more just an individualistic decision that you just came up with on your?
I mean, I feel like we had some conversations. Me and DeMarcus actually talked about it, and we both had figured that the best decision for us was to come back, and and we figured that we'll really do what we should have done last year this year.
Go back to Don real quick.
Yeah, Rico, Coach Patterson has said more than once, and he said it again yesterday, that you're the smartest linebacker that he's ever been around, and that you're always out there making calls and all that. And when you're not out there making calls, guys are looking around wondering where you are and needing you out there. How much do you, I guess, A, where does that come from? And B, how much do you miss, not being out there to do it this spring?
First, it comes from the guys who were before me. So like Dakota Allen, Jordan Brooks, those guys were good mentors for me. So I looked up to those guys. They were always in the film room. They were always in the weight room, always putting in extra work. So, just being around those guys, it's just a habit that you got to pick up. Because if you don't, then you're going to be lost and you're not going to really make your own way. And then, of course, I miss it, just being able to compete with the offense, especially with Coach Colombi coming in with his new style of offense, just wanting to be able to compete and just show good looks and stuff like that and make myself better.
Also, what did you have done to your knee? Was it just a scope, or did you have to have a reconstruction?
It was just a reconstruction.
We'll go to Sam.
Marcus, I'm curious, considering how long you've been a part of this program, how have you seen this program evolve, and how excited are you about what you think is ahead for this program this fall?
I'm excited because I can actually see that we got rid of the people who didn't want to be a part of the program, you know what I'm saying? And everybody here we all got the same goals, and we all want the same thing, and I really feel that right now with this team right now. So I feel like that just puts us in a better spot. I've been here for 5 years, and I've seen a lot of things change, and this is changing for the better.
Go to Ronald.
Marcus, a lot of those receivers that you sort of lined up last year against in practice are now gone. Who's some of the young guys who've already, impressed you and you love to go one-on-one with?
We got some great young guys such as Trey Cleveland, Miles Price, JJ, and what's that big boy, 89, man? Oh, man. Jaren, man, he's so big, man. Remind me of TJ. But, yeah, those guys right there, they're going to be elite sooner or later, man. And just when Coach Shough works with them, get their body right, they're going to do something for us one day.
Have any other questions for? All right, well, that'll wrap it up for today. Thank you all for being on here, and we'll talk to you next week.
Guns up. Appreciate you guys.